Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. On the agenda tonight we have Band-Maid, and this is the first time that I've checked this band out tonight. So we're going to be having a look at one of their tracks called Play, and I think this is from earlier this year. So let's get the ladies up on screen and see how they get on. I'm just going to jump in here because first of all, the sound we've got here is such a great mix. Obviously, it's going straight through the desk and has been post-produced in order to get this sound, great drum sound we've got here. But just going through the playing, they're all of a really top technical standard here, and they're playing what I like to call in the old way. They're actually trying to do things live here. You find so many bands nowadays that have backing tracks going on, and then you find out that it wasn't really live and it was only a live vocal, whereas you can tell here that they're all really on the ball with the instruments, especially the drums absolutely kicking some major tail back there. But then also guitar wise, we've got some really nice chops in there, and especially with the bass as well. What a great bass intro that was, and you've got to be on the top of your game technically in order to pull off that kind of playing. Another thing is, there might be some English words in there, I'm not sure that I can spot them myself, but if you can listen to a song where you don't actually understand the lyrics, but the melody is strong, that's half the battle won, because you're getting people into the music before you're then sending the message of the lyrics across. So I'm not sure exactly what's being said, but the melody is all there. In terms of setup here, we've got a 5-piece from what I gather. It's bass, 2 guitars, drums and vocals. So we've got 2 guitars going on there. Of course, when one then goes into a lead break, she'll have a little bit of rhythm backing her up, but the sound is really full here. We've got that designated singer, of course. The sound is so clean and so precise that if it wasn't tight, obviously it would stand out like a sore thumb. There's a hell of a lot to look at in this performance as well. We've got fire being set off, the lighting is absolutely insane as well, and they're really putting on a show. It's not just standing there looking at the guitars, even though what they're playing is at that top end of that technical spectrum. They're really putting on a show whilst they're playing. I guess you'd be classing this as hard rock or heavy metal if that's the sound that you're trying to attribute to them, but there's different elements in there. We've got a little bit of lead guitar. I'd love to see an extended lead guitar solo. I'm sure that they have one, maybe not in this particular track. I haven't had time to check out a lot of their stuff yet, but certainly in the 2 versions that I've seen of this, there's no long solo in there. Let's get back into the rest of the track. I'm just going to stop it there because, as you can see, the video suddenly cuts out. But a few points I want to make about this band is just that we've got that main vocal, we've got backing vocals as well, we've got really progressive sections in terms of where that technical ability is on show, even though we've got a vocal over the top, and we've got a really standard song setup here. So we've got that intro, the great bass intro that we saw, we've got verse, we've got chorus, there's the middle eight that we saw there towards the end as well. And my point is that these girls, these ladies are actually doing things what I call properly, in terms of they're just playing instruments and actually composing songs and just trying to make a good sound. Obviously with a chorus that has repeated, and la la la, obviously you don't need to speak the language in order to get the melodic content there, and if you throw those in, obviously it's gonna give it a hook, but you've got to find a melody to throw those in there. Trust me, those words have been used a lot, and without the right melody it doesn't work. The drums really stand out for me because of that double foot pedal that you can hear, that really stands out because of the mix. Sometimes you'll miss that in live performances, but it's just clear as anything here, and it's great to hear those toms, and the whole mix of the drum kit is absolutely on point. And then the vocals are great as well. I've seen a better version vocally than this, but the backing vocals as well absolutely back up that main vocal perfectly. And I love to look out for performances like this that you can tell are live, because there'll be little parts vocally or musically on the instrument that aren't quite there, but that's kind of the whole point of a live performance, is you'll get a different version to the record or the CD or the MP3, whatever you're listening to. But here you can hear that the vocals go off a little bit here and there, but that's the whole point, and that vulnerability of singing live just adds something to the performance rather than watching a show. I've seen a million times where you've seen a show and it was live, and then when you watch it on YouTube it's been auto-tuned by the record label, who have then released it afterwards, post-mixed it, and then put up their perfect version of it on YouTube. And it's so difficult nowadays, especially for the younger generation, to know what's live and what isn't live, because it's so blurred, the line at the moment. And with this, I think it really helps if you are a player yourself, if you've done any kind of music production and spent quite a lot of time in music, you can start to tell what is live and what isn't. But it goes so deep. I know that I saw a video with a singer called Ariana Grande, I think her name was, where just for one note in her whole set, everything was live, but the high note on a particular song was then put in on a backing track. So she'd do the live vocal leading up to it, and then the top note would be a backing track, and then she'd go back into the main vocal. So it gives you the idea of how deep this rabbit hole is of being pre-recorded, because you could have half an hour of singing live, but then there's a high note that you struggle with, so they just put that in on the backing track. And I'm not just having a go at one singer, I'm just using that as an example because it's happening all over the industry. Bon Jovi, again, I'm a massive fan of Bon Jovi, but I've heard him sing a live vocal, which, like I said, I like being able to tell that it's live, because he was a little bit off in places, and then watch the video on YouTube afterwards, and the record label have got their hands on it and just auto-tuned the hell out of it so that it sounded really weird, and then that was the final product. Yeah, it's all perfectly in tune now, but it didn't sound like Bon Jovi anymore. It lost that raw edge. So it happens all over the place, and I think it's more of a record label thing. I think that artists want to get up and play live and just communicate what they've got to an audience. Unfortunately, when you see that performance live and then you go to watch it on a DVD or on YouTube or on a recording later, there's a stage it goes through. It has to go through the record label first. But anyway, back to the video. I went down a bit of an avenue there, got a little bit lost, but it's because of this band, because they're playing live. And nowadays it's so rare to see a band actually playing their instruments to a high technical level and playing live all the time. So it's great to see a video like this, and I'm certainly going to check out more of their stuff after tonight. And if you've got any more suggestions of Band-Maid, if there's any tracks that you think I should check out, put those in the comments below. But thank you so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at. Keep those suggestions coming in the comments below as well. Let me know what you guys think, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!